What's up, SNA fans? This Super Ninja Austin here, back here with another episode of the SNA podcast, episode 157 to be the exact. And we're going to be talking about the latest edition of Monday Night Raw and what exactly went down a couple minutes ago. And yeah, we got some good banger matches I'm gonna describe right now. Which the first one was the opener, Drew McIntyre against Sami Zayn, and the second was Seth freaking Rollins and Jey Uso in the tremendous and main event match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Make sure y'all check that out if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's get started off. And it does start off with the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre in his match against Sami Zayn. But before he wrestled him in the match. This is where he got a microphone, cut a promo, sending a message to the to Sami Zayn and his time with him being in the bloodline, of course. This is where it's like, "Hey, Albany." He's like, in this land, like the people of seem like they lost their minds as of late, and liars and hypocrites, cowards, like just plain idiots. Like apparently, like they could be fired, released, and leave. Like, do what you want for a bunch of time, go back to the company, and then you're instantly forgiving these guys and these names that's on here on Raw, which is a reference to not only Jey Uso but CM Punk as well. Well, him, considering he left 10 years ago, or almost 10 years ago, I should say, and then quit wrestling for about 7 years until went to All Elite Wrestling, and only been there for 2 years until going back to WWE a couple months later after getting into a second altercation with a fellow AEW wrestler. It's the second year in a row. But anyways. But yeah, he taking a line from Seth Rollins' promo about calling certain wrestlers hypocrites. But anyway, this is where Drew McIntyre was like, this is where fans start chanting CM Punk because they know who he was referring to. And then this is where Drew McIntyre's like, I couldn't be talking to everybody. Like, look at your champ, said, bro. Like, trying to do a fast one over Drew McIntyre, and he's giving the title match to anybody in the roster, but beating Jey Uso doesn't clear the week before about the announcement. It doesn't count. Like, and he's like that doesn't make no logical sense. I was like, which that kind of does, but at the same time, it was not like a number one contenders match when he beat him. It was an advantage match for Survivor Series War Game. But anyway, he also said like that's like a slap in the face, and that's Seth Rollins practically slapped me in the face metaphorically, and so I headbutted him in his stupid face, which made him bust it open, of course. And he's like, and speaking of Jey Uso, like, oh my God, like he's capable for apology. Like, it's about damn time. But in a sarcastic voice, he's like, do not forget. Let me not forget, like, before his music came out, and he would have came out anyway, even if he didn't bring his name up. And that man was none other than Sami Zayn. And this is when he came out, entered the ring, get ready for his match. Like, trying to fight the Scottish Warrior. Like, heading to the ring. This is where Sami Zayn's like, do you got anything else to say about me? Drew McIntyre, this is where he's like, nope. Like, let's get started to his match. And then this is where Sami Zayn, I think, got into a microphone. This is where he had some fair share of words to say to the Scottish Warrior. As soon as his music went off, he was like before he said anything, this is where the fans are chanting Sami. Of course they do because they're a big fan. And this is where Sami Zayn's like, well, Drew, you got clearly have everything to say to everybody here on Raw. Like, I'm sure you got something to say about me as well. Like, if you're going to say it behind my back, you might as well say it to my face. And then this is where Drew McIntyre was like, you want me to say it to your face? You're like, well, like, oh, yes, I do. I will say it to your face. Like, last week, you were telling me how alike we are. And and you're not in the episode like. It is like you say we are nothing alike, and there's nothing that Drew. Nothing that Sami Zayn has done. What Drew has done, and he was like, what Drew knows is the truth. On top of his achievement, one person in the world who deserves to be screwed over by the bloodline, because. Let me to explain what I mean by that. You were a part of the bloodline, like you were their little lapdog like a year ago, and you joined them, you were running away from me while we were on SmackDown at the time, and what did you do? You screwed them over. What the hell? What did you think was gonna happen? You think you were a smart guy? And you deserved it. And he's like, it's the truth. He's like, it's the truth to the fans when the fans said some insult to the Scottish Warrior because they do not like him in this way. One particular fan, even though I'm a Drew McIntyre fan, but I would say I'm just more of the babyfaces fans at the moment, with the likes of Zayn, Rollins, Rhodes, and even Jey Uso at the moment. So I cannot really agree entirely at this time, but he makes a good point from the past. When he was the babyface, of course, he would say it. I make good points out of it. And Sami Zayn's you're definitely right about one thing, Drew. I thought we were entirely alike, but there's some things that we don't have in common. What? I'm seeing the more truth, and then I quote, more we are nothing entirely alike. And then fans were like, yeah, absolutely. And Drew McIntyre's like, I can agree with you on that. And Sami says, I'm not a delusional person. I'm not a person who points a finger at every single one for their own, on their every single shortcomings. I should say. And he was like, and there's a difference between you and me because when I lost, I didn't start blaming others for my problem. Everybody knew, everybody knew that I had the opportunity, but I stayed driven, I stayed motivated, and then carried me all the way to victory in the main event of Night One's WrestleMania. And then fans were chanting preach, Zayn, preach. And this is something I got some redemption out of the bloodline. I made my family proud. Again, justice for the bloodline. And do you think you're making your family proud with your justice? And the fans were in Albany was like, oh, he had the point there. This is where Drew was like, Drew acted one of us is not. He's like, one of us is not going to be walking out of here. So give me a damn referee here now. In a pissed off voice. This is where they started the match. This is where Drew McIntyre with seriousness and on a rampage of destroying his. Okay, I give you paper to tray you. Here you go, Birdie Bird. Hopefully MJF doesn't call Bryan Danielson's son Birdie again. But anyway, here you go, Trey Bird. But anyway, corner ropes hit him with a devastating strike, knife edge chop that made it sound like that. This is where Sami Zayn on the ground started agonizing in pain on his chest. This is where he hits a right hand and knock him down right onto the corner left side of the ropes. This is where the fans start clapping and chanting for Sammy, let's go, Sammy. And this is where they got right on the ringside area of the left corner. This is where he hits him face. This is where Drew McIntyre hits Sami Zayn face first right into the hardest part of the ring apron, which is harder than even this. Yep, pretty much. But anyway, this is where and nothing, no copywriting. But anyways, this is where Drew McIntyre tried to go for a snake eyes right to Rita the ring post in the lower left corner. But Sami Zayn rolled out of it and pushed him instead and backfired. Hit him, try to get some justice and hit him face first right into the hardest part of the ring of the left corner apron. This is where Drew McIntyre put his hand there to stop him from doing it and hit him instead for the second time in a row. That's where he throws him back in the ring, but Sami Zayn instantly got back up and runs right through the right side ropes and did that diving senton move that he usually do right onto the Scotsman. This is where they both got back in the ring. This is where they went back out in the ring. Like this is where, right, because Sami Zayn threw him back and I believe hit him with another dive, throw him back in the ring again. This is where Drew McIntyre, as soon as he got back up, when Sami Zayn tried to go towards him and grab him, but he gets instantly get intercepted by the Scotsman with a huge clothesline from Hale, a standing clothesline from him. This is where Drew McIntyre started hitting right hand Luthez press. This is where the Drew McIntyre hits a knife edge chop right into the chest of Sami Zayn. This is where Sami Zayn's like, "No, I will not surrender to you. I will not surrender to you to a blamer that's trying to get some unnecessary justice." It is where he hits a knife edge chop back at him, but I believe Gunther would not put him on the envy list, considering he already chopped the living hell out of both men, I believe. So they got the point. So I'm not sure about this at this point. And I guess they're gonna get a pass considering they're not AEW wrestlers. But anyway, this is where they start hitting knife edge chops on one another. And then the last time when Drew McIntyre hit a chop on Sami Zayn, he wiped him out, knocking him on the floor. This is where Gunther was like, "I got plenty things enough to do, like with my envy list and my Intercontinental Legendary Championship reign, and they're gonna be killing each other anyways. And then if I need to do it again, I can just easily can by asking Adam Pearce." But anyway, this is where Drew McIntyre hit a stomp right onto the head. This is where Drew McIntyre's like, "Yeah, like I'm proving my point by beating the living hell out of him." I was like, "Yeah, you're proving the point, all right." Like for making excuses on why you're not the undisputed champion, but that really doesn't matter at the point because one, you're on Raw, and two, you got an opportunity for the World Heavyweight Championship, even though you lost in your first challenge against Seth Rollins, but you can easily go back in line, like what Sammy was saying. But anyway, that's where he started hitting stomps on Sammy's head, his leg, like if he was Randy Orton with his Randy Orton's second signature move, the Orton stomp. This is where Drew McIntyre waited for Sami Zayn to get up. This is where Drew McIntyre was like, "I'm gonna show you why you're just a no good, manipulating, lying hypocrite." And this is where he tried to go and charge him right to the upper left corner. This is where Sami Zayn kicks him right in the face. This is where he goes right on the mid ropes. As soon as he turned on the other side, this is where Drew McIntyre turns around. Sami Zayn get ready to hit him with the elbow strike right into the head. When he struck onto the Scottish Warrior, this is where Sami Zayn was holding on to the rope. So my leg, because I think he landed on his leg too hard by hitting that strike, which I believe, I'm not sure if this is legitimate or this was all part of the script. I don't know, but either way, most of the injuries are legit. So yeah, this was kind of confusing, but this is where he started limping on his leg, which I believe he was somewhat injured during this match after doing. This is where he kicks him. But anyway, this is where he kicks him in the midsection. Get ready to hit a suplex onto the Scottish Warrior, but Drew McIntyre was not letting him do it. This is where because he started squeezing on, trying to fight back with his hands, but Sami Zayn managed to put it over his head. This is where he tried to go for a suplex, but Drew McIntyre was not trying to stand up for him, so he whipped him up instead, tried to go for a suplex, but Sami Zayn was doing the same way, trying to get out of it, but he managed to flip out of it. He tried to go for a second attempt of a suplex. This is where Drew McIntyre go for a spear, but Drew McIntyre's shoulder hits the rid of the ring post. As soon as Sami Zayn dodges, going through the bottom, going out onto the bottom side apron, this is where Sami Zayn grabs onto Drew McIntyre. This is where he kicks him in the midsection. This is where he tried to go for a second tip for a suplex, and it was a guarantee, slamming him right into the middle of the canvas. And I think he also hurt his leg and his back in the process by slamming him with a double force. And Sami Zayn's left ankle was in agonizing pain. This is where he gets Irish. This is where he picks up Drew McIntyre. He gets Irish whip right into the left hand corner of the ropes. And this is where Drew McIntyre tried to go for a running clothesline. Sami Zayn ducks out of the way, runs through the right side, hits a flying head scissor, DDT, of course. This is where Sami Zayn tried to go for a pinfall. They only got a 1 and a 2, but Drew McIntyre kicks out at the last second, only at 2.999. This is where fans were chanting "Sammy, Sammy" still in the audience. This is where, let's see, this is where, Sami Zayn goes right on the top rope. This is where he goes and try to go for an elbow strike, which it wasn't a guarantee this time because he already hit the move, unless he was double lucky. But this is where Drew McIntyre hits a belly-to-belly suplex onto him into a counter. This is where Drew McIntyre tried to go for a second time. He hits a double jackpot onto Sami Zayn after pushing him onto the lower right corner and belly-to-belly suplexing him on the other side in the upper left corner. This is where Drew McIntyre ducks out of Sami Zayn's clothesline attempt, hits him with a swinging neck breaker right in the middle of the canvas. Did a kip up. This is like Drew McIntyre was about to hit his finishing maneuver after shaking the ropes like if he's the Ultimate Warrior and perhaps Batista. This is where he tried to go for the 3-2-1, but when he turned around, this is where Sami Zayn got back up out of nowhere and closed on him out of the ring. And before I talk more about the match, I forgot to say I got a catchphrase for you guys. Like while he was trying to attempt to hit the least most devastating move in sports entertainment, the Blue Thunder Bomb, but did it work? Because no, it did not work. And did he even attempt to do so? He did, but it got countered by the Scottish Warrior. So it's starting to get more of a downgrade into the maneuver, and it looks like it's probably going to be even like the most useless maneuver in sports entertainment in a minute if Sami Zayn's not careful. And what else I had to say about that? But the point is, it's starting to get most devastating. But anyway, this is where Sami Zayn closed on out of the ring. This is where he tried to go for a flying. This is where he does a springboard. This is where he tried to go for a springboard crossbody, which he did try to go for a fly, but Drew McIntyre caught him in midair. This is where he tried to go for a fallaway slam over or a sling slam right over Alan the announce table, right near the commentators, but Wade Barrett and Michael Cole move out of the way right on time. This is where Drew McIntyre puts Sami Zayn back in the ring. This is where he hits a sit-out power bomb, but Sami Zayn kicks out instantly at a 2.9. This is where Drew McIntyre's like, "Are you kidding me? Why is this little Ingrant is not staying down and letting them beat him?" And this is where Sami Zayn had his arm around Drew McIntyre's right leg, "Get your filthy hands off of my leg." And he was like, I'm imagining you are Jey Uso, because for the fact that you're friends with him, if not Usi brothers or whatever you are with him. That's where he picks him up into a fireman's carry. This is where he puts him right on the top of Tina the turnbuckle. Got him right on the top Tina the turnbuckle onto the lower right corner. This is where he tried to hit his his Brawling Brute's brother Sheamus's finishing maneuver, or signature, I should say, the white noise off the top rope, like an avalanche white noise. This is where Sami Zayn was rolling out of it, flipping out, hit a sunset flip bomb right onto Drew McIntyre, but he only got a 2.999 double triple nine, minus a negative 0.1 second away from being 3. But this is where Sami Zayn was. This is where he started limping continuously, like, because that leg was work. But yeah, this is where I should have waited, because this is where he tried to attempt the least most devastating move in sports entertainment, the Blue Thunder Bomb. And then, like I said before, and I'll say it again, it did not work because he got countered by Drew McIntyre. And that's the only time he tried to attempt to do the Blue Thunder Bomb, because he must have been watching What Culture ups and down videos. But that still didn't make Sami Zayn stop, stop fighting, though, because he started hitting axe handles and right hands onto the back of Drew McIntyre when that didn't work. Well, even though he tried to go for the Blue Thunder Bomb, but this is where Drew McIntyre flips out of it, hits a Glasgow Kiss headbutt right onto the head of Sami Zayn. This is where Drew McIntyre was getting ready in position to do this finishing maneuver, trying to attempt the 3, 2, 1 Claymore. As soon as he started saying 3, 2, and 1, this is where he tried to go for a Claymore, but this is where Sami Zayn hits a haluva boot straight forward, right to his forehead or face even. This is where I mistakenly said that was the only time he tried to attempt to do the Blue Thunder Bomb, because the second time he did hit it a second time, and it was a guaranteed. Even though it's known as the least most devastating move in sports entertainment, he managed to pull it off, and I was wrong about that. But if anybody asked if it worked, of course not, because they're not in Saudi Arabia, like Simon would say. But he nearly had him with the Blue Thunder Bomb, and it's a shame that it's the least most devastating move in sports entertainment, when it should be the most powerful move in sports entertainment, because it's more powerful. It looks more powerful than the haluva boot, and even my brother noticed this too. How can WWE make this the least devastating move? But the fans were chanting this as awesome, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, definitely awesome. I was like, this is if the main event match doesn't deliver as the number one match of the night, I'll say this was number one indeed. But fortunately for the main event, they did get the number one spot, and I'll say that's all I'm going to say for now until the end of the video. But for now, I'm going to say this is the second match of the night. The second best match of the night that you would love to watch. But anyway, this is where Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre start hitting punches right back and forth onto each other. Until Sami Zayn hits a knife edge chop, which Gunther's still not going to put him on the list, because, of course not, because one, they're in the same brand, and he can easily ask Adam Pearce to have a match with him. And two, he already knocked him out with murdering moves, like with the knife edge chop, even before he had the envy list. But anyway, this is where they start going back and forth with fans were chanting "Yay" to Sami Zayn, and then fans were booing Drew because he's like some kind of a anti-villain heel that's getting some unnecessary justice. But anyways, this is where Sami Zayn tried to go for a boot. This is where Drew McIntyre ducks out of the way. This is where Sami Zayn's bad right ankle was given out to the former undisputed tag team champion. This is where Drew McIntyre tried to go for a charge, but the referee's like, no, Sami's not ready yet. But Drew McIntyre instantly was disobeying the referee. He just started going anyway. But luckily, Sami Zayn got back on his feet right on time and elbow strike Drew McIntyre right into the face. This is where Drew McIntyre tried to go for a clothesline, but